Hi everyone, it is me, Rainbow Brite here, or Wisp. Alright, and it's me, Twink here. Alright, I hope this looks more good. Yeah, it does. And today we're going to talk about how Duane got into Rainbow Brite. Now, some of you folks might think he got into it now, but the truth was he was into it when he was younger. Now, yes, it is true that Rainbow Brite happened about 40 years ago, or 41 years ago. Now, Hallmark came up with the Rainbow Brite self as early as 9 between 83 while though, but didn't start giving rights to make the dolls until 9 between 84 while, and the first business to win the rights to make the dolls was Mattel. It wouldn't be until the same year that Deep Glee would get the rights from Hallmark to make the drawing show that ran for at least, they're going to say, two followings. If you look at the Farseer outstanding shows that ran in 9 between 84 YL, and then Rainbow Brite, the Star Stealer, the film, 9 between 85 YL, and then the first following of Rainbow Brite, which only ran for one following in 9 between 86 YL. Now, he was he was one in 9 between 85 YL, but he would have gotten into it by 9 between 86 YL, or whenever he got into it. Now, him getting into it and liking it, never really knew how he got into it, just know he did. Either he would have it, it would be on, and he'd be watching it. And I think this was in 9 between 86 YL, though. Maybe he's in earlier than that. So he would get into it. He'd watch all the Farseer outstanding ones they made. Well, and then he'd watch the first following. And who knows what Folkworks it was on at that time, because they rerun it for many years. They did. They reran it from at least 9 between 87 while as early until 9 between 91 while. So they were old running it for a lot of years. He'd also had the dolls at one time. Well, not every single doll ever made. That wasn't true, but he did have some of them. I mean, he did have the Mattel doll of me. I think he may have had you, Twink. I don't know. I think he may have had Merkwell Dismal. He may have had Lurky. I don't know if he had anyone else. I don't know if he had Patio Green or Lila Orange or Canary Yellow or Buddy Blue or Red Butler or Shy Violet or Indigo or any other selves. I don't know if he did or did not. Then one year, for Halloween, this could have been many years ago, but he was still in DeQuisney Stead at that time. He was going to go as me for a Halloween. And his mother did his hair up, like the way I do my hair, and gave me the star. And he went out. What else came out of that? We don't know. And then over the years, he either fell out of it, he either wasn't into it anymore, or other shows started to take the stead, which was formerly that show, I guess. And then years would go by, and sometimes he would think of the show, but that was all he would do. Yes, and he may have watched it again in 2010 YL though, but he didn't fully get back into it until this year. And that's why this Rainbow Brite Fairway was made. Now, what Rainbow Brite dolls does he have as us? The Hallmark one that he had gotten, I guess, as a Yule gift many years ago. The TSL, the TLS Toys one of me and Twink and Stormy and Tickled Pink and Two's Ragdoll, you know those. Now, being in the Rainbow Brite followership means and was good and bad. Now, you want to say some things about this, Twink? Oh, yeah, I do Rainbow. Thank you. Anyway, you would think that him being in the, being in the Rainbow Bright followership would mean that everyone gets along. And for mostly that's true. But there was someone in the Rainbow Bright followership, which we will not say names or handles. We'll just say there are some folks out there who are angry of what other folks have and may have guilted and shamed at him and say you rub and saying that he only showed these dolls off was to, say he was greater than someone else for not having them. And that wasn't true. But that someone else believed it. And at first it was forgiven. And then it came up again so that someone else had to be blocked. Now, I know that some folks might not like his take of Rainbow Bright, and some folks might be angry that they don't have things that he has. And let's be earnest about it. It isn't like Duane had all these things his whole life. He had to get some of these things back. I mean, we don't know what happened to the Rainbow Bright dolls that he had back in the day. We don't know what happened to them. They must have gotten lost or thrown away over all the years of shifting. So he didn't get any of the Rainbow Bright dolls and things back until years later. I think it was in 2021 YL that he may have gotten the Harmark Rainbow Bright doll because someone gave that away to the Vinlander Thrift Middle. And he gotten this Rainbow Bright doll. This was from Walmart. Stormy came from Walmart's website. Tickled Pink was bought from Walmart. The other Stormy came from Amazon or Strong Woman. The other one came from the Vinlander Thrift Middle. And all the small ones, they came from Five Below. Now, at the end of the day, I just want to say that we're sorry if someone out there believes that we making films or showing this off is shaming and having things that someone else has. That's just how life is. But guilting and shaming Duane and saying that he only made these dolls to show off is not true and not right. And I know, and we are aware that there are folks in the Rainbow Bright followership that have way a lot more than he has and have been into it longer than he was. Well, whatever. He got back into it. He likes to watch the Deep Rainbow Bright because, hey, that's the only one you have to watch. I mean, yeah, if you want to kind of say there is. Well, yeah, and Twink, don't forget, there had been the 2009 Rainbow Bright web show, if you know how to seek the website at ease and look for it. And then there would have been the 24 between if while one, it only ran for about 3 followings and the 3 sagas to its name. I mean, and that's about it. So, I don't know how he got into it. He may have been, I don't know, but he just knew he got into it, and then he was watching the drawing show, the Farseer Outstanding Sagas. But he was about 1 or 2 when those came out, so he gotten into it when he was about 3, and this would have been the 9 between 86 while, so he at least saw the first following of it, and he may have saw the Farseer Outstandings on film, as well as the Rainbow Bright and the Star Stealer of 9 between 85, well, that was on film. And he may also saw It's Your Birthday Rainbow Bright film, which was a Deke one, as well as Rainbow Bright Sagas in the San Francisco Keep. Anyway, he got into it, and he fell out of it. Why? I don't know. But now he's back into it. And that's why he chose to do this FAIRWAY. Because once again, there's very few folks that are doing this, or as the way he does it. So, hope you like this film about how he got into Rainbow Bright and how he got back into Rainbow Bright. Give this film a like, share, and playlist it, and we'll see you later. Have a rainbow day.